My name is William Carrera, and I would like to thank you for taking the time to watch this digital project that I have created for my master's degree at Johnson Bible College. My project had at its core two parts. The first was to use off-the-shelf electronic components and open source software to create a fully functioning whiteboard and use it in my classroom. The second part was to assess student attitudes towards the interactive whiteboards and how they were used. Before I look at these two parts, I want to first answer the question of why an interactive whiteboard. Currently, interactive whiteboards represent a huge financial investment for school districts and, in my case, individual schools. They are aggressively pushed as the current educational technology that we must have in order to meet our students' needs. Yet research has shown only a tenuous link between interactive whiteboard usage and higher student achievement. My interest in using technology in my classroom, along with my curiosity as to the effectiveness of interactive whiteboards as an educational tool, brought me to consider this as a valid project. Two videos served to lead me into this project. Promethean is a world leader in educational whiteboard technology, and this is a short commercial that they have produced showing the interactive whiteboard in use. The second video is of Dr. Johnny Lee, who created a do-it-yourself interactive whiteboard using a Wii remote and a Bluetooth adapter. This is a short clip from a presentation that he gave.
So here I have my computer set up with a projector, and I have a Wii remote sitting on top of it. And if, for example, if you're in a school that doesn't have a lot of money, which is probably a lot of schools, or if you're in an office environment and you want an interactive whiteboard, normally these cost about $2,000 to $3,000. So what I'm going to show you how to do it is how to create one with a Wii remote. Now, this requires another piece of hardware, which is this infrared pen. You can probably make this yourself for about $5 with a quick trip of a Radio Shack. It's essentially got a battery, a button, and an infrared LED, and it turns on. You guys can't see it, but it turns on whenever I push the button. Now, what this means is that if I run this piece of software, I can now register, the camera sees the infrared dot, and I can register the location of the camera pixels to the projector pixels, and now this is an interactive whiteboard surface.
With these two videos as inspiration, I began to research about interactive whiteboards and their impact on education. The paper included on this DVD holds my formal research, which I will quickly summarize here. The research has examined interactive whiteboards from both the students' and the teacher's perspective. Teachers have reported having to change their pedagogy because of the ability to add and manipulate digitally rich media files. Individual classes such as math, science, and foreign languages appear to be the best set up to use this technology. Teachers also report an increase in their effectiveness in accomplishing basic daily tasks due to being able to automate these tasks using the whiteboard. The area of effective learning is where students have shown to be impacted the most. This area includes things as motivation, attention, self-esteem, and the value of learning. One caveat is that these effects may only be transitory. Quantitative studies show little or no connection between interactive whiteboard usage and higher student achievement. Even though studies that do show an increase seem to link the increase to the amount of time that the students have been using the interactive whiteboards as a tool. First, I want to show the electronic components, open source software, and physical layout that I used to create the interactive whiteboard in my classroom. I'll then show some examples of the interactive whiteboard being used. I then want to discuss the students' attitudes towards the interactive whiteboard as they were reported to me. Lastly, I would like to close with a few comments on how I felt about the interactive whiteboard as I used it in my classroom.
A key component is the USB Bluetooth adapter. This adapter allows the Wii Remote to communicate with the computer. The Wii Remote is able to read a signal from an infrared pen as a mouse click and translate that signal in terms of a location in space to the laptop. The Wii Remote must first be connected to the laptop through the USB Bluetooth adapter. Here's the Wii Remote and the digital projector positioned together. Two pieces of software are used to link the Wii Remote and the laptop. First is the program on the right called Wii Remote Connect. The program finds all active Bluetooth devices, in our case the Wii Remote, and creates an active link between the laptop and the Wii Remote. Once the connection has been made, the program on the left, Pentabulous, is used to calibrate the projected image and the area read by the infrared camera in the remote. Calibration is done by using the infrared pen to click on the four corners of the Pentabulous calibration screen. The readable area is now set, and within that area, a click of the infrared pen serves as a regular mouse click, which allows windows and programs to be closed and activated. Items can also be dragged and released across the screen. Here's the setup that I used in my classroom, showing the Wii Remote, digital projector, and their position relative to the fully functioning interactive whiteboard. Now, the infrared pen and the interactive whiteboard can be used to do almost anything a regular mouse and keyboard can do. The next few minutes of a video will show myself and various students using the interactive whiteboard in my classroom.
far as the student attitude surveys, because of the small sample size, we need to be careful not to read too much into the students' responses. Taken as a whole, however, I do believe that there are some things that we can take away. In the two classes where I used the whiteboard extensively, student responses were positive, with only one negative. In the geography classes, students felt that using the whiteboard allowed them to memorize places and locations easier than just using a paper map and pencil. On the other hand, the one negative comment did come from a student who did not like being singled out to go to the board and to use the whiteboard. He felt that he would be able to accomplish the memorization much easier with just using a paper and pencil. In the math and science classes, students felt that the whiteboards made the lessons more fun or more interesting. One student commented that the ability to jump around non-linear within a presentation allowed her and the class to determine which aspects of a particular lesson they would focus on for that class period. This, however, may be more a comment on a change in pedagogy than a comment on the whiteboard itself. Overall, students felt that the interactive whiteboard increased their motivation. The negative each commented on did revolve around the fact that at the beginning of the usage, there were some problems with getting the whiteboard to actually function and start up in a reasonable period of time. But this went away as we were able to manage that problem and get the whiteboard operating sooner. I would argue that all this parallels the current research. Student attitude improved towards the material, and I underwent a transition in my pedagogical practice as I had to work harder in order to develop more interactive and non-linear presentations.